Empire of the Ants is a real-time strategy game that is available on PC through Steam and both the PlayStation and Xbox consoles. Using the Unreal Engine 5, it has absolutely stunning graphics, but its gameplay leaves a lot to be desired. Retailing for $40 is Empire of the Ants worth playing on console? This review is going to answer that question. But first, make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to start the review with the graphics and technical performance of Empire of the Ants on console. The game looks incredible, with a realistic landscape that's very detailed. It's so good that you can often just want to find a place to take it all in. Surprisingly, the Unreal Engine 5 actually runs pretty good in Empire of the Ants. I didn't have any slowdowns or FPS drops while playing, and the frame rate stayed stable the entire time. Moving on to the story, Empire of the Ants has a single-player campaign that will take you anywhere from 10 to 15 hours to go through, depending on if you do all the side missions or continue the main storyline as soon as possible. Empire of the Ants is based on a novel, and this game is a remake of an old version that came out in the early 2000s. The story takes place in a colony of red ants where you play as an ant in a leadership role. The game starts with your colony coming out of hibernation after the winter. At first, you're just trying to find food and expand your outposts, but then you do get into a conflict with black ants and termites. After fighting them off, things in the colony begin to get a little bit strange. There is a conspiracy going on, and there's spies for the dwarf ant colonies, along with some assassinations. The story is told in these flashbacks, and honestly, it's terrible at telling you what's happening. Even finding all the memories and listening to the optional dialogue, I really had no idea what was happening. There's a fire about halfway through the game, your original queen dies, and then there's a civil war. There is talk about a super weapon that doesn't really go anywhere, and then the game just ends. The story is poorly written, confusing, and very oddly paced. It doesn't help that most of the missions don't really have anything to do with the main storyline either, with the exception of a few that has you transition to new areas. Alright, now on to the main topic, the gameplay. Empire of the Ants is a real-time strategy game, which is part base builder and part army commander, similar to the Total War series. The game has a variety of missions, from exploration and finding things, playing alone as an ant just out in the world, and missions where you're walking around the battlefield, directing your troops, and building upgrades through your base. The game has you conquering or finding nests, where you can station a legion of ants and build a few upgrades in the slots the nest has available. Nest slots are limited, so you can only fit a few upgrades in each nest before you need to move on to another one. You can only control a few legions, with one legion per nest. Legions themselves come in warrior ants, worker ants, and gunner ants. They have a rock, paper, scissors sort of gameplay, where workers are good against gunners, gunners are good against warriors, warriors are good against workers. You can select and direct your army by looking somewhere on the screen and setting a waypoint for them. But if you want to interact with a nest, you need to physically go there, meaning you're running all over the map trying to control nests, your economy, and your upgrades, and the armies under your command. Units move super slowly, so if a nest is under attack, you need to have troops nearby, or chances are you're going to lose that nest before you get there. Your ant has special spells that can be used to make the armies under their control stronger, heal them, or make them move faster. Most missions are essentially capture the hill, with a goal to get as many nests as possible before your opponent does. More nests mean a better economy and bigger army, so you can overwhelm your enemies. The end goal is to destroy your opponent's main nest while protecting your own. It's an interesting gameplay loop the first few times you play it, but it gets old really quickly. There's not a lot going on from the armies to choose from, the upgrades are severely limited, as are the spells you get. The game is either boring or frustrating and boring, depending on the mission. And without a good story to keep you hooked, I suspect most people are just going to turn Empire of the Ants off before they reach the end. And honestly, you wouldn't be missing much if you did. Let's go into the pros and cons of Empire of the Ants. For the pros, the game looks incredible, the landscape is amongst the best I have seen on console, and it runs really well without any frame rate drops. The music's good, much better than you would expect from a game about ants. The story has a lot of hooks and mystery boxes, but they all go unanswered. For the cons, the story is just not good. It's poorly explained what's happening, chunks are missing with time skips forward, and the ending leaves most questions unanswered. The gameplay itself is simple, boring, and frustrating at times. Each combat mission is exactly the same, with the same goals and the same enemies to defeat. There's only one interesting mission where you have to use a cricket to cross water to get to the enemy's base, but that's it. Some missions have a severe time limit that's nearly impossible to achieve without trying multiple times. There is multiplayer in this game, but good luck trying to find somebody to play with. You can play against the AI, but it's essentially just replaying the main campaign's combat missions again. And that's it for another review. So is Empire of the Ants worth playing? No, only if you get it for free. I wouldn't pay much money for it, not with the amount and quality of gameplay available here. For $40 US, there are a lot better games you can spend your money on. I'm the Casual Console Gamer, and I'll see you all in the next review.